With gold prices currently sitting over 4,000 Australian dollars per ounce, we are in a modern day gold rush, with more and more people out on the creek trying to get gold as quick as they can. Today, I'm going to give you all the information you need to maximise your gold take. Whether you're doing it for a side hustle or you've got a passion for prospecting like myself, let's find out what you're going to need, all the tools and all the tricks to get the gold. Turning that into gold is going to require a few tools. Let's have a look at those bare essentials. You're going to need a shovel. Everyone's going to have one sitting in the garage somewhere. You're going to need a gold pan. You might not want to spend the money on a gold pan. You might want to use a stainless steel dog dish or something. It's going to work, it's just going to be a lot harder. A hand trowel, very handy tool as well. A classifier. This one costs about $4 at Bunnings. This is from the garden section. It is a lawn sand sieve. You can get the Minelab ones. They are a lot bigger in diameter. I prefer the smaller size because I process a lot of clay in my area and I can get those clay balls down. You're also going to need a bait pump. Now, you can purchase a stainless steel bait pump like this one here, or you can do what I did and make one out of conduit and water fittings for about $10. Going to do the same job. You're also going to need a snuffer bottle to suck up all that beautiful shiny gold. There are some more things that we're going to introduce as we go along, but let's get started on the creek and how to work out where the gold may be. So this section of the creek that I've chosen to stop at, as you can see, there is a slow section up here that comes down into some fast section with a bit of a log jam. We have a drop off just here. We have some bedrock, some clay, an inside bend, some more bedrock, and a drop off. You've got to look for collectors and like gold collectors, so spots where gold's going to drop out in the creek. As you can see, this drop off here, where you can see my gear sitting on the left hand side there, when this creek floods, water rushes straight over the top of that nice grassy flat section. This drop off works as a ledge, like a bedrock ledge, so gold will drop off there. You also have this inside bend. You can see here the water has rushed up against the bank and eroded the bank away and deposited rocks and gravels on the inside bend. So let's start in those gravels on that inside bend and see if there's any flood gold. We can then move to the clay and the bedrock in this faster section and see if any gold's trapped in this bedrock. This is a perfect gold trap. One pan from this inside bend. I hit clay pretty quickly and it was mushy, horrible clay. We yielded 1 micro dot. I will not be digging there again. Don't be afraid to move. Move about. Find the gold. Next pan I've taken is from right along the edge there where you've got the drop off and the bedrock. Now, again, we only got 1 micro, but we did get a lead shot. Lead shots are a great indicator of heavies because lead is heavy. What I'm going to do now is bait pump along that edge to see if any gold is trapped in these bedrock lumps and bumps that are along the creek here. Feeling along the bottom in the bedrock for any voids that hold gravel in between the cracks. And that's where the gold's going to be trapped. Let's see what that holds. Let's take my larger rocks off the top. Because I use a fine mesh classifier, I need to check fairly thoroughly, especially when you're bait pumping, to make sure you haven't left any nuggets in your classifier. It's happened before. I want to stratify all this material, get it all nice and liquefied, shake all those heavies to the bottom, get them down into the front corner of the pan, and start removing the light stuff off the top, nice and slowly. Giving it a shake, getting any heavies back down into that corner. And the less material you have in your pan, the slower you want to be getting those heavy, those lights off the top with the water. You can see I'm using less and less water each time, just to make sure we don't drag anything from the back out of the front of the pan. Letting those riffles do their work on the pan. Get down to about there. Grab some water. Tap it all forward. And see what we've got. Oh, nice. This is why I think a bait pump is essential for you to catch gold. Look at that. That's a nice piece. There you go. Let's keep going in that section. Next pan I bait pumped a little bit further down from where I was before for an almost identical result. Another nice piece and a couple of bits. Whilst it's very nice gold and it will add up quickly, I think we can probably do better than that along this creek. Side note, I have not been here before, not to this section of this creek, so I had no idea if it held gold or not. It obviously does, but let's see how much it actually holds. Go for a little bit of a walk. Another really important tool you need to use on the creek is your imagination. Let me explain. This is a nice straight section of creek, fast section. You can see rocks on the edges there, and the water's moving. Gold travels in a straight line. It doesn't like going around corners. So as we follow this straight piece of creek down, we follow it down, dead straight line, we hit this bedrock on this corner. It widens out here because the water actually hits this bedrock, pushes out and comes around the corner. So effectively it's an inside bend. It's also jagged and was full of very well stacked rocks. So I've just taken that little section out and that little section out there. I haven't got anywhere near the bottom. While it's not a huge amount of gold, it's definitely holding gold. There's quite a bit of micro in there that you won't see. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any flood indicators. There's sort of one there. You can see how high the debris is there. So when this creek's in flood, it would easily be hitting this log in front of me. So the velocity of water that flies over this bedrock outcrop here is strong enough to jam big heavy rocks in all the gaps. So it's definitely strong enough to jam gold in there. So use your imagination. Even when there's little amounts of water, this creek's at least flowing, but when it's not, or if it's not, you have to use your imagination. I'm going to keep working on this bedrock here and see what we get. So I've continued on with this hole here. As you can see, I've got these cracks that have got material in them. Let's have a look at what we got from Yabby pumping the bottom of that hole, and then we'll get back to those cracks. Some really nice bits of gold in there. So the next essential tool you're going to need that's going to maximise the gold that you can get on the creek is a crevice tool. Now, I've got Matt's crevice tools, and they are the duck's nuts, the bee's knees, whatever you want to call it. But there is plenty of things around the house that can double as a crevice tool. Here we have an old paint scraper that I hit with the angle grinder just to put a hook on it. It's nice and thin, gets in those crevices, nice and short. We then have a picking tool. Again, nice and thin, gets into those little holes. And a good old screwdriver, a rusty old screwdriver. They can all work as crevice tools. Now the next one I've got here is an old pruning saw. And again, I attacked it with the angle grinder, took off the teeth, put a little hook on the end, and it's got a comfy handle. Nice and thin, gets into those cracks beautifully. For me, crevice tools on the creek are an absolute must because you're looking for collection points, collectors, gold collectors, and crevices and cracks are probably the number one spot to be looking to get into those hard to reach spots in the bedrock to get the gold out that's been packed in for who knows how long. Let's get you set up and we'll scratch out those cracks. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, now something else I like to do when I'm crevicing like this, you see here, it's really going to be really hard to try and catch all your material. So I've cleared out this area here, and I know it's deep enough to yabby pump. So you can simply get all your material and let it go off the end there. Same with this one. This one's got some bigger stuff in it. You can see how well these crevice tools get the material out of the cracks. They are worth their weight in gold. They really are. And that's the stuff that's coming out of there. That's beautiful. Well, you guys couldn't handle the heat. The phone overheated, guys. Sorry about that. This is cleaned out, and I've pumped the bottom where all my material ended up. And let me just get this. So again, really nice gold. It's pretty chunky stuff here, which is quite nice. So that's the importance of crevice tools. They really make a difference. Yeah, as you can see, I've only sort of done half of that crevice there. Look, I haven't even continued on. I'm actually going to leave that spot because, as you can see, this is in the blazing sun. I'm going to try and find somewhere in the shade because it is steamy. So add to your list of must-haves: hat, sunscreen, and can you hear the flies? Can you see the flies? They're bitey ones. So make sure you've got some repellent for them too, because they hurt. They are everywhere. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's much shade. So I'm going to have a drink for 5 minutes and work out which bit we're going to do next. Read this creek and see if we can find the next gold concentrator. So I found myself a spot in the shade, no, not shade, in the blazing sun, right in the middle of the creek. I followed this crevice here, up and under there. So it comes to a stop. So the water forces its way in through here and has to go out over the top, pushing all the gold down into the crevice, is my belief. It's right in the middle of the creek, if you can see. So gold doesn't really have anywhere to go. So I've cleaned it out. Again, nice chunky gold. It's really nice. There's some nano in there too. Oh, it's a nice clear picture for a change. I haven't been able to set you up, guys. It's just way too hot. My phone just keeps wanting to stop. So, and the flies are facetious. They're unbelievable. Look at the size of them. Look at that thing. March flies. They're great. Alrighty. Well, it might be time for a move, but I just said that before and kept digging in the same spot, didn't I? Oh well. Oh, I've got something else too. So I said earlier that you need a snuffer bottle. Now, if you don't want to go and buy one, quite a while ago, I made this one out of a hotel shampoo bottle, drilled a hole in the end, got a Slurpee straw, and hot glued it in. Works fine. And then just a key ring and a bit of string, and you can hang it around your neck so you don't lose it when you're walking through the bush. So there you go. Otherwise you can buy these ones, or if you want a real one, I'll say it's a real one. Ooh, if it's in here. No, it's not. No, it's not. Yes, it is. You could get a Max Crevice Tools or Max Crevi Tools one. These are great for sniping. So when you've got visible gold in the rocks, you can snipe it out with a bottle like this. Plenty of suction. Nice steel end on it too. So there's a few more options for you for the tools you're going to need. Hey guys, leave me a comment. I've put a pinned comment. So at the top of the comment section there's a pinned comment. Drop me a reply. What's the number one thing that, apart from, the things I've run over today, what else do you like to take to the creek to catch gold? And if you're new, what have you learnt today that you're going to go out and buy or make yourself after seeing today's video? Drop us a comment. It'd be great. Alrighty, I just got all this fractured bedrock out of this centre section here down to blue clay, and sucked it all out. And that's a result. Again, nice chunky stuff. Not heaps of it, just nice and chunky. It is now lunchtime. It is extremely warm and I'm hungry. So I'm going to make the trek back to the car and have a bite to eat and then make a decision on what I do for the rest of the day. Whether we go to another creek and I can show you some other concentrators and things that I look for on the creek, or whether we continue here. So stay tuned. I have had my lunch and I got curious. That's the next tip. You need curiosity. If you want to maximise the amount of gold you find, you've got to be curious. You may be able to hear a main road right next to me. I'm literally in a drain next to a highway. As you can see, it's just, I found a puddle under a tree, so I started digging in it. Now, you may need to get your microscope out for these, but there is 2 dots of gold in there. There's one centre screen. Oh, there he is next to him there. So two of them centre screen. Now, it's not going to buy much. It's not going to weigh much. But there's gold in this stinking mud heap next to the road. The road is literally just up there. If I was tall enough, I'd be able to show you the cars driving past. So curiosity. If you don't go and try new places and look for gold where people haven't looked before, your chances of finding really good deposits are a lot less than what they would be if you go and look. So that's probably the biggest thing you could take away from this video today is be adventurous, be curious. Let your imagination and your curiosity take you to the gold. So, hey, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you find nothing. I pretty much found nothing, 2 specks, but there's gold here. So you keep looking. However, it's 36 degrees. There's not really much in this puddle for me to dig now. It's all bedrock. So I'm gonna probably do one more pan and call it. I'll do a snuffer dump at some stage and reveal for you and see what we ended up with for the day. Catch you soon. Okay, let's see what we ended up with for the day. A pan full of bubbles. And I'll jet dry. Let's get you off the edge so I can actually do this so you can see it. There's some sort of good looking bits of gold in there. Do you want me to weigh it? It's not going to weigh much. Alright, I'll dry it and weigh it. Give me a minute. Just before I do, guys, if you've enjoyed today's video, please hit that subscribe button. Bash that notifications bell and you'll know when I've got new content out. Alright, I don't think there'd be a 0.05 here, but we'll see how we go. I suppose there's some half chunky bits in there. There you go, 0.06. Pretty close with the 0.05. That's more about demo for you today. Give you some ideas of what I do when I'm down the creek. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.